Hey guys, welcome to Technability. I'm Berge. We have a good comparison here today. We got the Galaxy Note 3 as well as the Samsung Galaxy S4. But that's not where it stops. I'm going to go ahead and include the HTC One right here. And I'm going to go ahead and include the Apple iPhone 5S. So we're just going to go ahead and put all these phones next to one another, look at a few of their features, not go too in depth, just get a better idea of these four phones, which are arguably four of the top phones in the market right now, or even the top four phones in the market right now, even though the LG G2, Moto X, and a few other handsets may have something to say about that. But in any case, you can see their respective sizes, and I just want to go ahead and put the Droid or the Motorola Razr here in the mix to show you guys the 4.5-inch display on an Android phone. Right, so this is a 4.5-inch Motorola Razr as opposed to the 4.7-inch which you have here on the HTC One, which has a 1080p Super LCD display, IPS, renders 468 pixels per inch, which is absolutely phenomenal. You have the Galaxy S4, which has a 1080p 5-inch Super AMOLED display, rendering 441 pixels per inch. You got the Galaxy Note 3, which is also a 1080p Super AMOLED 5.7-inch display, which is rendering roughly about 380 pixels per inch. Give or take a few, I could be off there. And then over here you have the smallest one out of the bunch, which is the Apple iPhone 5S. This has a Retina IPS LCD display. It's I think it's 1136 by 640, and it's rendering roughly about rendering approximately 326 pixels per inch. Similar different options here, such as Air View and Smart Scroll, Smart Stay, Air Gesture, Multi-Window, etc. And we can go ahead and actually demonstrate that here on the gallery. If I can find, oh, that's not the gallery. If I can find the gallery here and find the gallery here, you can see by just scrolling over. Okay, so both of them have that scroll effect here. Look at that face. Okay. So that's Air Gesture. So you have Air Gesture on both. You also have Air Gesture on the Note 3 via the S Pen. So let me go ahead and show you guys here. You would actually have to change the option in the settings here. So you'd go ahead and just hold, actually, you know what, let's go ahead and put this at 100. So what you would do is you would go ahead and hold down on the Air Gesture feature, or excuse me, you would hold down on the Air View feature here. And it'll ask you Air View mode, finger, S Pen, or auto. Let's do pen. Actually, you know what? Let's do auto. Right, so that's the Galaxy S4 and the Galaxy Note 3. And then you have the HTC One, of course, which is a little bit more simplistic. Doesn't have the same amount of gimmicks and features that you're going to get with these two handsets. Obviously, if you look at the quick settings panel here on both of these, as opposed to the quick settings panel here on the HTC One, you got a lot smaller icons here, which are customized. You can customize these. Whereas the HTC One, their basics. Settings, system settings, Wi-Fi hotspot, screenshot, auto rotate, power saver, etc. So HTC has kept it simple, but they've added a few touches such as blink feed, such as Zoe, which is a camera feature. You also have features such as the IR blaster, which also shows up on the power button. We'll get to that in a minute when I show you guys the hardware of all these devices. But just to go through a spec rundown here, you have a quad-core 1.7 gigahertz Snapdragon 600 processor with 2 gigs of RAM. You have a 4 ultra-pixel camera, dual front-facing speakers, boom sound speakers. Alright, on the Galaxy S4 you have a 1.9 gigahertz Snapdragon quad-core 600 processor with 2 gigabytes of RAM and a 13 megapixel camera. Over here with the Note 3 you have a quad-core 2.3 gigahertz Snapdragon 800 processor with 3 gigabytes of RAM. You have a 13 megapixel camera with the flash. Over here on the iPhone you have the A7 64-bit CPU. You have a 8 megapixel camera and all the other goodies that comes with the iPhone in terms of internals, which, you know, they're pretty secretive about, but once iFixit does a teardown of it, you will usually know the internals in terms of RAM and the GPU and whatnot. So in any case, all three of these devices are powerful, they're fast, they're super smooth, super fluid operation. You can see right there by just panning through screens, it's fast. All of them are literally immediate to your touch. There's no lag, there's no slowdown, and we definitely like that about all these devices. So what makes them different from one another? Well, there's quite a few things. Over here and over here you have the unibody builds, right? So you have the HTC One here, which if I turn around you can see unibody build, and the 5S, which also has the unibody build, and both of these are just fantastic build qualities. They're absolutely gorgeous in terms of their build. You can see the lightning port. You can see the micro USB right there. The volume, the microphones, both right there. Except you have the 3.5mm headphone jack here on the 5S, along with the speaker on the bottom. Whereas with the One, you have the power button with IR blaster and 3.5mm headphone jack up top, along with the power button. You can see the micro USB port. All right, you got the power button, volume rockers, and then you got the IR blaster, 3.5mm headphone jack, power button, and the home button right down here. All right, with the Note 3, you got the charger right down there, the speaker, the microphone. On the rear, you got the logo, camera, flash, power button, and up top you have the 3.5mm plus the IR blaster, the infrared. So they all have different build qualities, but the HTC One and the 5S are pretty much the most similar in terms of their build quality. The S4 has more of a plastic thing going on, but that is replaceable. You can add different metal backplates, you can add flip covers, so that's one of the positives with the removable backplate. You could add a different battery, micro SD card slot, which you can also do with the Note 3. Something that you can't do with these two devices right here. There's 32 and 64GB model of the One, 16, 32, 64GB of the 5S. So we have Android 4.3 with Sense 5 running right here on the HTC One. Okay, over here on the S4 we have Android 4.2 with TouchWiz. Over here on the Note 3 we have Android 4.3 with TouchWiz, and on the iPhone we have iOS 7.0.2. which is the latest in terms of iOS. So definitely these three would be similar in terms of their software. Of course, they're Android, even though they got their own overlays, they're still Android based. And over here you can see you could pinch zoom, you can add a home screen, you could do the same here, or you could pinch zoom here with the Note 3. You can also take the S Pen and you can bring up action memo and all these other features right here. So you got pen window, S Finder, screen write, scrapbooker, and action memo. One of my favorite features is pen window. So I could draw a screen the size of, let's say, let's try that again. Oh, there you go. You can see I drew a screen and I can open the browser. And while that's doing its own thing, I can go ahead and activate multi-window. Bring this up right here. Let's say I want to take the gallery and drag it over here. I could have the gallery and I can have, let's say, the Play Store. Alright, so multi-windows right there, and again, if I take the gallery, I can place, I'm trying to use the S Pen. I can take the gallery and put it right there. I can take the internet browser and put it right there. I can maximize, minimize, bring that up, bring that down. I can X out, etc. So there's various different options here, and again, you could pinch zoom on a picture, easy. Edit a picture. You could favorite a picture, you could share it, trash it. If I edit it, you got various different editing options, which you also have here on the Note. So again, if I just click here and go to edit, see right there, I got editing options as well. So they're very similar. I mean, of course, it's an updated version of Android. Alright, so let's go ahead and just pop in here. Now, you also have the same type of features here with the HTC One. So if I go to camera shots, I can edit a photo as well. So I could go to their edit option right here and I can edit a photo. You also have the same option, of course, on the iPhone. So if I open a picture here, click on edit, again, you also have editing options. So it's cool, they all come with their various own editing options, and we could just exit out of all of them by just pushing the home buttons on each, which are fundamentally different on the One as opposed to these three, which have home buttons, menu button, back button. Obviously the iPhone has the Touch ID sensor, which is the fingerprint scanner. Doubles up as a fingerprint scanner. Doubles up as a fingerprint scanner. And we can go into the settings of all these devices, and that's where, again, they're fundamentally different as well, because the S4 and the Note 3 have so many settings, so many different settings here, configurations, controls. It's kind of all over the place. The HTC One's a little bit more simplistic. They got that whole little rubber band effect. The iPhone, obviously, their settings are fairly simple as well. So you got, different philosophies. The Samsung prides itself on its multitude of features. HTC and Apple pride themselves on a more simplistic approach, but they're all very good, and they all adhere to a certain consumer base. So no complaints in terms of the settings. Some people will complain that Android settings or Samsung specifically are all over the place. I think it's really a learning process regardless. So you basically, all of them are going to be you're going to be accustomed to all of them if you were to purchase devices for the long term. Now let's go ahead and look at the cameras on all these devices. Alright, now first thing first, let's look at the Note 3 on the iPhone. So if we just drag this up here, let's take a quick look at the cameras. They both have burst mode. You can see both of them are taking pictures. So they both have burst mode. They both have video where you can zoom in on the video. You can pause the video. You could take pictures while you're shooting a video, and that's for the Galaxy Note 3. You have slow motion here as well on the iPhone. You have square and panorama, and picture quality is really good on both these devices. And you have 4K shooting here on the Note 3 as well. So you can see the filters here on the iPhone. And again, just the photo quality, whether you were to zoom in, zoom out, or just take a photo from afar, the quality is just really good. And the flash is bright, and you can see all the different modes here on the Note 3 as well. So we're big fans of the Note 3 camera, no doubt about that. We're also huge fans of the the iPhone 5s camera. Smile, smile. You can see how that works. And over here with the iPhone, you can just take pictures. So those two are really good cameras. Now let's go ahead and bring up the Galaxy S4 and HTC One camera. The HTC One got some flack for going 4 megapixel or 4 ultra pixel with their camera, but for all intents and purposes, it's still a really good camera. You got burst shot. You got burst shot on the Galaxy S4 as well if you enable it, and I think the quality on both is solid. The quality of video on the HTC One is solid, as is the quality on the Galaxy S4, because of course you got a 13 megapixel camera, so you're going to get good quality. Alright, there's the video right there. You could of course take a picture while you're taking a video, recording a video. You could zoom in and zoom out. The same could be said about the Galaxy S4, which has similar features to the Galaxy Note 3, because they're very similar in that way, in that sense, in the camera sense and in the software sense in general. Now we're going to go ahead and look at video quality here via YouTube as well as sound quality. So let's just go ahead and play that here. We'll play insert coin, iOS 7 Beta 5 first look, and then we can do HTC One, iPhone 5s versus HTC One.
Meet Jason.
Hey guys,
Jason is an ordinary person, just like you, who loves messing about with his smartphone.
Here's a Galaxy S4, Samsung Galaxy S4 running on CM10.
Hey there, happy Tuesday, welcome to Technability. Today is August 6th, and we have iOS 7 Beta 5. It's been released. It kind of came out fairly quick. I thought that it would have been a little bit longer before they released Beta 5. But here you guys go, it's out. I just installed it. Let's take a look.
We're having a fantastic weekend. Alright, what we have here is a Galaxy S4, Samsung Galaxy S4 running on CM10.1, 4.2.2 Jelly Bean. I haven't done a video emphasizing CM10 on a Galaxy S4, so I wanted to go ahead and do that today. Actually, there is 4.3 builds out right now, but I would suggest holding off for the time being. I did flash it on an HTC One, but the problem is that it's not very stable. It still has its minor issues. So we're going to go ahead and go through some of the features here that you can find on CM10.2 for the Galaxy S4. Alright, let's go ahead and just get started with the lock screen. Of course, with CM10 lock screens, you get customizable shortcuts here, so you can unlock and set up these shortcuts as whatever apps you want. You could swipe your finger over to the right and you can get the widgets tab, swipe your finger over to the left and get the camera. So let's just go ahead and unlock the device here. Video quality.
So if we unlock the device, first thing you're going to see is the home screen layout. iPhones are slightly larger than what you're going to get with 4.2.2 or with previous versions. And let me just show you guys a screenshot here of the previous version so you can get an idea of what I'm referring to. Okay, so this is 4.2.2, and you can see the icons here are fairly smaller. Now if I go back home, you can see they're larger here. So there's no way to change that. Hey there, welcome to Technability. I'm Berge, and what we have here is a Galaxy S3 and an iPhone 5 running iOS 7 Beta 6, which is the latest beta. It should be the last beta prior to Gold Master. And the reason I'm doing this comparison is because I've had a lot of people ask me about whether or not the Galaxy S3 is still a good phone to use as a daily driver, whether or not it's still a sufficient phone, whether or not it's even worth upgrading to, say, the S4 or the Note 2, for example. Now with the Galaxy
That's YouTube. Alright, let's go ahead and run third-party apps here on all the devices. Let's see, what can we run? Let's go ahead and see if we can run Temple Run Oz on all of them. Temple Run Oz, Temple Run Oz. I don't think we have Temple Run Oz on the S4, but we'll run, let's say, Modern Conflict, whatever that may be. Let's check it out. Alright, let's exit here. Alright, you can't access the notification bar here. Good here. Access it here as well as the control center. Let's exit out, exit out. Alright, you can see the tabs here with the HTC One. You can add a tab, an incognito tab. X out right there. Right here with the with the Note 3, you can add a tab and just slide them away if you don't want them. Over here with the iPhone, you could swipe away a tab. They've gone with that whole chrome look. Close out of that, close out of that, close out of that. All of them are LTE compatible, so that's enabled. Okay, I have no clue what this game is or how to play it. It looks like one of those, yeah, not familiar with this. Not very graphically intensive, but obviously the S4 with its internals, it's actually clocks in a little bit faster than the One, so it's going to play high-end games, specifically games with good solid graphics and frame rates, because you're getting a quad-core 1.9 GHz Snapdragon 600. Now in terms of quadrant scores, on the One I receive about 13,000, the S4 about 13,000 give or take, on the Note 3 about 22,000. Obviously there's no quadrant here on the iPhone 5s, but it's benchmarked really fast. I was able to get about 400 on SunSpider, which is ridiculous. On the Note 3 about at 700, on the S4 roughly about at 1100, and on the One on SunSpider I was able to get about 750 to 850, which is actually really good for the HTC One. And Antutu was also really good for the Note 3. I got about 33,000, which is about 5,000 more than the S4 and One. And other than that, of course, there's a lot of other features that we haven't covered here. We go ahead and look at their respective calendars on each device. Calendar, you're going to get similar calendars for the S4 and Note 2. Actually, not really. They're different color schemes. And you got the calendar here on HTC. All minimal because they're all going for that minimal look. You know, let's look at by month. You can see you can add an event, add an event, add an event, add an event. You can also do that through Siri or through Google Now. And it's fairly simple to do. Now obviously with the Note you have S Pen functionality, so you can utilize that. And another area where you have S Pen functionality with the Note, where I think is really cool, like let's say I drag the let's say, oh, of course you can swipe, but let's say I drag the S Pen up here on the left hand side, click right there, I can type out, I could write out what I want to type, or I could simply draw an MMS message, okay, and send that as an MMS. So you don't have that ability here with the One or the S4 whatnot because you don't have S Pen functionality, but still it's a nice feature. It's a nice feature on the Note 3, packed with plenty of features, the Note 3 is. And of course you have the native music application here on the One, as well as the S4, Note 3, and you have iTunes here on the iPhone 5s. Okay, and you could see, look, I'm getting a Hangouts on all of them, the notifications. You can see how the notifications look. Notifications here, you could just swipe them away. Same here, you could swipe them away if they allow you to, and over here it's the same. Let me show you guys how the screenshots work as well. So if I take a screenshot here, it's going to show up on the notification bar. I can pinch in, I can pinch back out. Oh. And I could share it. So I could share that. So I'm getting a video call. Again, you can see how the notifications work. You can just swipe down, swipe up, and it'll swipe it away. Alright. So quite a few differences, right? But in many ways they're very similar. They do similar things. You got Hangouts. You can see I'm getting messages for all the Hangouts. They got various third-party apps that are similar to one another. If you can't find a third-party app that's on iOS, that's on Android, there's probably likely a replacement for it. So just look out for that. Again, they're all comprehensive and detailed in their own way, and they're all worth it. You can get them for really good prices right now, especially the S4 and One, because technically they're considered last generation's device, even though they're still really good devices. I wouldn't consider them last generation, but technically they are. And again, you get the 4.7 inch, 5 inch, 5.7 inch, and 4 inch form factors. So it really depends on what you're looking for, whether you're ingrained in the iOS or Android ecosystem, and everything else under the sun. So again, going back to the gallery here real quick, let me show you guys something about the galleries. Now one of the things that I just want to take note with is that with Android you do have the option to sync with third-party apps. Okay, so if you have third-party apps that you download, you can sync with those third-party apps. With iOS, if you want to edit or if you want to share, you have to go through Messages, Mail, iCloud, Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, what they give you basically. But you can do multiple pictures at once. And I like that interface. It's a nice interface. And it works just fine, in my humble opinion. Alright, so that's pretty much that for these for this comparison. Again, I know there's a lot I didn't cover, but really I just wanted to give you guys a rundown, or quick, if you consider 20 minutes quick, but a quick rundown of all of their features, or at least majority of their features, and what to expect. And if you have any one of these devices, really, you should be content. They're all great devices, no doubt about that. So whether it's the S4, the HTC One, the Note 3, or the iPhone 5S, you could rest assured that you have one of the top devices in a crowded mobile market. Okay, I'm Barrage, this is Technability. Again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also check out www.technability.com. Support us, guys. Check out the channel. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. We got some great content coming up soon, including repairs and how-tos with repair videos. I'm going to be posting a how-to route for the Galaxy Note 3 and all sorts of other content. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'm Barrage. Have a good one.